Hi, it's Rick with Functional Wellness and Aesthetics, and today I want to talk about oral GLP-1s. I want to build a backstory to this and point out that in the US right now, about 73% of the population is considered either overweight or obese. But surprisingly, at this point, there's only about 2% of the population who are actively using GLP-1 medications. So because there's this massive demand, pharmaceutical companies see a massive opportunity and they're racing to develop the next big thing when it comes to weight loss and GLP-1s, and that is oral medication. So the company Novo Nordisk has already submitted an application for the FDA for a once daily 25 milligram oral version of Wegovy. This has become the first GLP-1 pill approved specifically for chronic weight management. Eli Lilly is the other big player in this game, and they've finished what's called a stage 3 trial on their version of the oral GLP-1 medication, and that's in for submission as well. So the next question is, who is going to use these medications and who's going to switch from an injected medication? According to obesity experts, oral GLP-1s could open the door for millions of people who don't want injections, don't need to lose 20+% of their body weight, and want a maintenance option for using these medications when they achieve their success. Plus, there's the convenience factor. Pills don't need to be refrigerated where injections do. But the question is, will people leave their injections? Probably not. People like what works and what they've found success with. When you take an oral pill daily, there's the potential for forgetting it, and taking an injection once a week is a very easy thing to remember. A lot of times people, once they take the injection, they discover that the injection is really not a great big deal. You hardly even feel it if it's done right. And so the results speak loudly. Injectables like tirzepatide and semaglutide injection can lead to dramatic weight loss and even reduce risks of heart disease, certain cancers, and addiction for various things, including alcohol. So how effective are these medications? Well, the most effective one that is being studied has showed about a 10% weight loss. So that's about 50% of what the injectable ones. The real deciding factor is cost. And for anybody who watched the Super Bowl, you saw lots of ads on how injectables versus oral medications have a cost difference. And some of that is a really big player in this arena. The problem is when you look at cost versus effectiveness, the effectiveness of the oral pills do not make up for, if you're looking at it in a cost-effective way, do not make up for the difference in cost. You're going to spend less money, but it is going to take you a lot longer to achieve your goal if you're losing weight at half the rate. But even with this significant price difference, most authorities believe that people are going to continue to do what works and what they're comfortable with, which at this point for most people is injectable medication. So the bottom line is this: oral GLP-1s are coming, and I think that they're going to be available, and I think for a lot of people who've achieved their goal and who have made modifications in their diet and developed a lifestyle, the boost that can come from the oral medication is enough to maintain the success that they've had. But for many people, it's not going to. So experts say that this isn't an either or. It's likely going to turn to a both and. And there's lots of options for weight loss. And this oral route is a new up and coming that I'll be anxious to see how it progresses. If you have questions or comments on this, feel free to reach out and let me know. And I look forward to seeing you in clinic.